Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there was living a rather lonely man. He lived with his family and had lots of friends, but thought this can't be all, this must just be how it begins. So he prayed to his God and asked him for a mate. He did not want to stay in this lonely state. God answered his prayers and sent to him a girl, and she would become his entire world. Then one became two when they said, "I do." And that place was packed to the rafter, and so began their happily ever after. But that's not the end. This story's not done. They knew there was more than just two become one. They thought to themselves, we should get a pet. That's something that we haven't done yet. So they got them a fish. The color was blue. His name was Kai, that much is true. But he didn't last long, and after much duress, he went for a ride on the Porcelain Express. So then they tried turtles, not one but two. But after a while, they moved on too. So they thought and they pondered until she felt sick. Then she said, "I'll ask the magic 8-ball, shaped like a stick." So she went and she asked and came back full of glee. Guess what? Guess what? Now two become three. Then she brought forth a girl with hair of brilliant red, with skin of the fairest, I've heard it's been said. She was a beauty and very smart. Also she had a very big heart. She lit up their world and filled it with laughter, and so began their happily ever after. A couple years later they thought to themselves, this beautiful girl who in our house dwells does need a friend, a playmate, you see. Maybe there's more after two become three. At this point they already knew a good trick, so they went to the magic 8-ball shaped like a stick. Again it said yes, and it rocked their world, and several months later came another girl. She had the biggest blue eyes you ever did see. She was a beauty and lived happy and free. She was a riot, silliness, jokes, and all, so rightfully they called her their little goofball. Feeling blessed and full, they thanked their master, and so began their happily ever after. Those girls grew, and together they played, that mom and dad reveled in the family they made. But as those girls grew, they still wanted more, so they brought those girls to the local pet store, where they got them the fish instead of the pup, but as with all fish, it ended belly up. Next, they decided to get them a cat. They thought for sure the girls would love that. Those girls really loved it, that was the trick, but the excitement wore off really quite quick. So the mom and the dad thought to themselves, maybe it is time for us to add to our family a baby. So they prayed and they asked and consulted the test, but the answer was no, 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 and never a yes. So they tried and they prayed and they begged and they pleaded, all while trusting God to know what they truly needed. And then 'twas the morning of Christmas, when all through their home was excitement and chaos, but Mom all alone. She was thinking of Jesus and Mary his mother, and praying that God would bless her with another. She consulted the stick. Yeah, she took that test. And this time, instead of saying no, it said yes.